Hello and welcome. This is your first time here. I'm Garth Allen. This is Racing News Now. And we're joined today by winner of the General Tire 150 at the Las Vegas Bullring on Saturday. The first female winner in the history of the ARCA Menards series, Gracie Trotter. Gracie, how are you doing today?
Doing really good. A little tired, but couldn't be happier.
Yeah, you were just telling me you had quite the travel experience coming back from Vegas yesterday.
Yes, I did. Our plane got stuck in Vegas for 2 hours, mechanical issue. Then got to Phoenix, missed our flight there because of that. And then next flight was 3 hours, so I was stuck there for a little bit. Maybe ate a little bit too much food, but I was bored. But we got back around 10, so slept in today. A little tired, but pretty happy about everything.
Nice. Well, so let's talk about Saturday. Big day for you. Started near the back, though. Started in ninth. At the beginning of the day, were you really expecting to be able to contend for that win?
No, I wasn't, but I always go into every race telling myself I could win. That's one, I'm a big AJ Foyt fan. That's one quote that he has is he goes into every race telling himself he can go win every race. So that's one thing that I always tell myself. In practice, we weren't very good. We were a little bit on the tight side, just struggling to find that speed. And in the race, I don't know what happened. My crew chief, Roger, he worked his magic, and the car was great. I didn't have any complaints. It was a little bit on the loser side, but I'd call that a perfect race car. So car was good. We drove through the field. Took the lead by, I think, lap 55 and just walked away with it. They kept telling me to slow down, save. And I'm like, I don't think I can slow down anymore. So the car was really good. And the car, basically, I felt like it drove itself. So couldn't have been happier with that.
After you took the lead there, you had a little bit of competition there from your teammate Jesse Love, but really you seemed like you could stay out in front of him pretty well most of that time. Were you ever worried he was going to get up there to you and really give you a challenge?
I was, and there was one restart me and him were beating and banging a little bit, but I knew if I just stuck with it, held my line, and let him beat up on me, then I eventually would have fallen back to him and I could have taken off. So I just held with it and just stayed calm. And I had Bon Suss on the radio and my spotter Frank Daney on the radio telling me to just hold my line and go after it. So that's what I did, and I ended up pulling away every restart. There were so many cautions there at the end, and I was like, there couldn't be a worse time to have all these cautions. So I think there was about 8, but every restart, I held it together and executed it very well. Those were the best restarts I think I've ever had. This year I've been struggling with restarts, trying to figure out these cars, how to make it happen, and that's one thing I've been putting in my notes after every race. Work on your restarts. So ended up coming to me on Saturday.
Yeah, well, obviously that seemed to pay off for you. So let's talk about the beginning of the season this year. You've only got 8 starts now in ARCA West, and you've already got a win under your belt. Looking back at the beginning of this season, did you expect to have a win this early in your ARCA career?
I mean, you always want to, but I went into the year just saying that this is my learning year. I'm going to learn as much as I can. New car, new team, new crew chief, everything's brand new. All the racetracks I've never been to before except for Vegas. I raced there for Legends Nationals in 2017, so I kind of already had an idea. But going back to Vegas in February, I was like, oh my gosh, this track is like, it got smaller, because when I went there in a Legend car, it felt like Daytona to me. So going to all these new racetracks, it's been difficult, but we haven't really finished better or worse than 4th unless we had a DNF. So after all those finishes of finishing good, I was like, man, I can go win one this year. It's going to happen. So I wasn't expecting it to happen because I was keeping my expectations on, okay, I'm going to learn much as I can, not get cocky and, try to go out and do this, but we ended up making it happen. So I think we can go win the next few races too.
Well, you talked about the being at tracks for the first time pretty much every race this season. I'm sure that helped this weekend, being at the Vegas Bullring for the second time now, and we didn't even expect to have a second race there at the beginning of the season. So having that experience from back in the first race of the season, how much did that help this weekend?
Oh, it helped a lot for sure, because after the pandemic and we started racing again, they cut our practice. So we've only been having 30 minutes to an hour of practice every race. So we show up, practice for an hour, whatever our fastest time in practice is where we qualify, and we go race. So it's also been a struggle for me not getting to practice. Like I said, going into these new tracks, learning this car. So it hurts me being a rookie, not being able to get that practice. Help me or communicating with my team, learning to do that. So definitely having a race there earlier this year has helped getting to race, know what my car's going to do throughout the race, know how the tires were gonna react at this track. But one difference was that race was at night and this race was during the day. So our car did get tight throughout the race back in February. So this time we expected it was really hot and slick, so it was going to get looser, which it did a little bit, but not much. The car really stayed underneath me. So that was one difference, but just knowing how the race was going to flow from going to that race, I was really happy when I heard that we were going to go back there. So we made it happen, got a win.
So let's talk about the historical significance of this. It's been trumpeted a lot since Saturday that you are now the first female winner in the history of the ARCA Menards series. What does that mean to you to be able to set that piece of history?
Yeah, I think that's awesome. When I was out there racing and I was leading, like, are we ever going to win this race? But I had no idea. That I was going to be the first female to win in the ARCA series. So the win hasn't hit me yet, and that certainly hasn't hit me yet either. So it's still pretty surreal to me. Even racing for Bill McAnally in the ARCA series, that's still pretty surreal to me. Just being able to do this, given this opportunity to go racing, move up to the next level is pretty cool. But to be the first female and doing this, I think I heard in 68 years of ARCA. So that's pretty dang cool to me.
Definitely. So I think that's all I got for you today. So Gracie, thanks for joining us today, and congratulations on the win on Saturday.
Thanks for having me.